Hey there guys, it's Metro, and today we're taking a look at Everbloom normal, oh no, Darkheart Thicket, alright, new dungeon available on the Legion Alpha test, alright, once again, Alpha, alright, so before we say anything, let's put that in perspective. This is a multi-tank point of view. As you're going to see, the first point of view I have here is for Blood DK with 4 pieces of gear not working. The reason they're not working is because the previous dungeon dropped gear that now is a level 100 and I'm level 110 and I'm not 100. So yeah, you can't really go far with that. But so this dungeon is in Val'sharar, the zone itself, and it is basically the corrupted version, like the nightmares induced on the zone itself. So you're going to see a lot of different thematical things. The mobs themselves that we're fighting right here are pretty dangerous. They're all kind of like corrupted beasts in a way. These dogs jump from player to player, put a bleed on them. It can be pretty potent if it stacks up, but from what I'm seeing here, you know, they really they're messing with tank stuff. So that's going to be a topic for today, right? The tank viability in dungeons has seemingly not gone down at all. They did say that they're removing, you know, like they're making CDs longer and stuff like that. So originally you would think that is going to affect dungeons and tanking in general. But yeah, you know, the passive stuff, you know, I haven't been able to tell how much damage people are doing, but it still seems pretty lenient. So I like that for normal, of course. I obviously get the item level. Now these guys here, these guys turn into spiders. So if you're scared of spiders, this is probably going to be a tough pull for you. No, but yeah, so basically you see the caster, all right? There's always like a caster around when they're now turned into one of these creatures. If they are a caster, you can interrupt them. If they turn into the creature, they do something else. But, you know, for the sake of normal, it's really not worth worrying about. Just kill things quickly. Now, here's a tough pack. I can't seem to, I've tried this like 4 times now. I thought you could solo, like, one way or the other, but it doesn't seem like it. So you are going to fight a new mob here. There's, like, little plants. They look like those plants from Ungoro from back in Classic, so reused models. Thanks, Blizz. I'm just kidding. Anyway, they're going to, like, root themselves in the ground. As you'll see, that green cloud there. That means the mob is rooted in the ground, and he's expunging. He's just, you know, he's just throwing this green shit out. So you could stand in it like a good tank would and fuck your melee, or you can move from it constantly and fuck your melee. So it's up to you guys however you want to fuck your melee. It's completely optional. Either way is fine. But either way, you're going to see the bear as well. He's going to do bear things. He's going to constantly, he's going to swipe. You see, oh yeah, there you go. He swipes with his claw like that. That hurts if you get hit in the face with that. So you want to use active mitigation to prevent. No, I don't know. But and then there's the casters, like I said there. So he's just spam casting like a regular caster would. I'm going to mind freeze him. It's just, oh, you give him a bad headache, and he's not going to be able to cast any longer. So that's new with Legion for sure. But yeah, the dungeon itself, not really innovating much, but it does look amazing. Now, here we're going to come up to, on the map there, you see a star. I guess this means it's meant to be like I don't know, like some kind of optional boss or some kind of like extra bonus boss thing. He is going to open up your talent window while you're fighting him, so that's kind of annoying. You're going to have to deal with that. You can quickly close it, but I'm struggling to do that because I'm not very good at the game. No, but what he is doing here is he's putting this like fire ground on the ground, and it doesn't do damage to Blood Death Knights, but I guess it does damage to melee. So once again, it's up to you guys how you want to handle it as a tank. You can say, good luck melee, stand on the side, learn to play, or yeah, you could constantly move the boss all over the place. That'll be your call, as it is your divine prerogative as the tank. You can basically do whatever you want to any group, and they cannot say anything other than try to kick you. But why they wouldn't be able to, right? Because you just keep pulling. So here, there's a lot of pats in this hallway, and as you're going to see here, this is dangerous, very dangerous. But we do have AoE grips and a healer, so I get a CD there. But this is Blood Death, and I have 4 pieces of gear not equipped, and I am still able to do what I'm doing right now. It is going to get pretty dicey though, so I would definitely warn you guys. These, yeah, you see the like. The puddles of purple stuff go flying on the ground. There I'm going to die, but instantly port back, which is pretty cool. That's a new feature they added in Legion where you could edit video. But yeah, we're just going to pull at the same time because I'm used to challenge mode, so why would I wait for the pat? Anyway, the griffin dude's going to like shoo, 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 fly around, and the cat's going to like pounce, pounce, pounce. And he's going to pounce all around. And then there's going to be these purple things on the ground, which you're going to have to move from as well. So, you know, this is Nightmare status. This is really like Everbloom. And how do you handle an Everbloom CM? You pull everything, AoE grip it, and fucking nuke the hell out of it. So that's what you're gonna do here too. Like, why would you? People are like, well, what are you doing, bro? Wait for the pat. You're dying. Well, I'm dying because I have 4 pieces of gear not equipped, and you guys do shit DPS, right? That's the way you gotta look at it, man. Multi-tank point of view. So now we are gonna switch point of views here, I think, right? But yeah, that's everything. So like, it can be easily done. Look at that. I mean, this is obviously normal, but I basically am playing a class that's half developed, and yeah, it has 4 pieces of gear now. So now I've switched to Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter is even cooler. Once again, these packs, as you're gonna see here, they do like they shoot out these purple circles, so you're gonna have to move from them, just kind of strafe around the mobs, and then interrupt the casters if you can. The dogs are gonna keep fucking jumping around. They're gonna transform into them. Now here we go. There's another pat right there. But hey, look, it doesn't matter because I'm a Demon Hunter. I got mobility on deck. Easily the most mobile tank I've ever played. I don't know. Druid and Mop, or Monk and Mop was quite mobile as well. But this seems crazy. Like, the amount of movement I can do. And this, like, leap in the air thing is, oh, it's unbelievable. But now we're going to progress. So we still haven't fought anything too worth talking about here, right? We are about to come up to one, though. So now down this path here, there's like this optional hallway, which, as you see, these guys are complete noobs and they try to pull. It is optional. You don't have to go that way. It's like a bait area, you know, like you don't want to go that way. Let's talk a little bit about Demon Hunters, though, while we go. So Demon Hunters they're very much like monks, in my opinion. They're super squishy, but their active mitigation is unreal. It really is unbelievable. Like, it's so crazy. And then look, I got AoE Death Grip there as well. It's not quite as good. The range is much shorter. But once again, as you're going to see, all these mobs pull together, unfortunately. Like, you could probably pull them solo if you're a little bitch, but I'm not. So I just pull everything together and die, which is really good play. But you do get instantly ported back, and when you do, the mobs are already dead. How about that? Very cool. No, that's not new. But anyway, so now we got 2 bears here. So, you know, a lot of raids run 2 bears. This, this is a reference to that. Bears were really strong at the end of WoD, so now they're kind of like just a homage to all those raids who got 2 bear druids to tank for them. And unfortunately, they're both going to die. You know, it's just like a lot of fights. Both tanks die anyway. Now, in here, we're going to fight. What is this? Yeah, so they're all like protecting this area, right? They've managed to protect it. And then High Arch-druid Cersei is going to come in here, and she's going to kill them. So now, when she fights you, she's going to knock you back, which is, like, it's really fun. It's one of my favorite types of mechanics. And then she's going to, like, push the tank back, and then she's going to charge. Shoo! Shoo! Charge right at it. And if you're a Demon Hunter, you could not get charged to that. Like, as you see there, I just move. You see that, man? Look at, like, LBJ right there. Just freaking spin right past him, but that's that. So the boss is really a complete joke. He does, or she, I guess, puts these like purple void zones down, which apparently are supposed to grow, but you know they're not eating their vegetables, so they're not growing currently on the alpha. It would get pretty hectic if they did grow, though. I'd imagine you just dodge. Every time she charges, she puts a bleed on as well. So now we're gonna keep moving. We find these trees. Now these are the mobs that the Realm Fire tree was named after, which is pretty cool. I didn't realize that. It took them all the way to Legion to get them in, but. Yeah, so we fight these fire trees. This patch makes the mob do more damage. See, I thought it made me take damage, which it does indirectly. But if I knew that, there's no point in moving them. Just kill him. And here, once again, 2 pulls with a pat. I try to death grip him, but it doesn't. It only gets a few. As you see there, it's not quite as good as Death Knight. But what is even better than Death Knight is my capacity for AoE. Immolation Aura, plus all this natural cleave. Plus a spammable single target ability that bounces, that cleaves. I mean, these are nuts. DK Tank is going to be nuts. I can't wait to see damage meters because I have a feeling DK Tank, or Demon Hunter Tank is going to be the go-to tank for 5-mans. It just seems absurd. But once again, those flowers, they plant themselves in the ground. Now, on the right of this area up here, there's all kinds of skippable shit, which we're not going to pull because we're not noobs. But you're going to see other people who come through this dungeon. They're not going to realize that. So you're going to have to really pay attention to that and hold people's hands. Because, I mean, you don't want to pull that stuff, do you? Like, it sounds like it would be a nightmare. Pulling extra trash in a dungeon that... I mean, look at this. This is a 25-minute video, and I cut it down half speed. So this would be a over an hour video if I left everything that I'd cut out in and it was full speed. How about that, man? So as we progress, you see a lot of different areas throughout the dungeons. Obviously, that, like, druidic area. There was actually like a shrine to some like harpy looking thing there. It's pretty cool, man. I like all this because it really does feel like we're progressing through this whole zone, which, you know, we're not really meant to be, but the different architecture and stuff. Now we're going to be coming down here in a swamp, all right? And as you see these like decayed totems, it's called Miasmic Gorge, which is pretty cool. Now we are going to fight more fire trees, which, you know, they do all the same stuff the previous one did. And these little bog creatures, these guys are like the dudes from Darumu, all right, in meaning that they're trash, all right? They're irrelevant. You just kill them. And this whole area, like, you have to clear out every single mob before you can fight King Fire Tree, who I guess is, you know, what the realm is named after. See, these guys are like lieutenant and like maybe like you know, foot soldier fire trees. That guy's the king, and he's gonna have some mechanics that we're gonna have to talk about. But as of right now, you want to just kind of, I mean, I pull these in like two pulls here. This guy kind of comes out of nowhere. I'm not really sure. Maybe some like Pat. I guess some Pat. It's hard to really tell. But yeah, I don't know if somebody else pulled these or what, but yeah, the fear is annoying, very, very annoying on these mobs. So I would definitely recommend pulling these in 2 groups. Or, you know, like, I guess maybe eventually you'll want to pull them larger, but I think kind of like the way dungeons are going with the new challenge model, you're not really going to want to make these massive pulls when you don't have to. It's just kind of nuts. Also, notice how much experience I have. I just realized that I've almost gotten a full... Did I almost get a full level from this dungeon? I don't know. But anyway, so here we are fighting King Firebark. He's going to do that breath thing there. It does nothing. And you don't want to face it at other players, or they're going to get... It will do something to them. Now, this thing here, he's going to grip me. I don't show it off in the video, but currently in the alpha, it puts you in a vehicle, which you can... Let's see. Let's pay attention to it. When it happens next time, you're going to see the little arrow, like, get out of this vehicle. You see it? Oh, no, he hasn't picked me up yet. Anyway, there it is. So you see the arrow there. I could actually click that and get out of that, which obviously is an alpha thing. Like, you're not meant to do that. But on the left there, you see these, like... It looks like the blood of the heroes, like festering pools of blood with some spikes around it. If you stand in that, you're going to get rooted, and then you'll be rooted for a full minute, but there's like attackable roots that you can break. So yeah, that boss is a complete joke. I've seen people tell me that it takes very long to kill him. I guess we have a pretty overpowered group, but those bloods there, oh, with Blade Storm, unreal. But now we are going to switch to the warrior point of view because we wiped in that hallway for about an hour, and I'll show you why, because this is kind of confusing. So basically what you want to do here is those little, like, the little smaller versions of this guy, I don't know if it's bugged on alpha or what, but they heal a lot, and they have a lot of health as it is. So you do not want to aggro all of these things together, because this guy knocks you back with that blood orb. You want to make sure you're moving from that blood orb, and then he knocks people back in that line. So a lot of knockback. All around the room are these whelps. As you see, that guy just tags one. But I've heard people say, like, oh, it's a nightmare. It's not. They do nothing. They're literally irrelevant. Just kill them. It's just like a pseudo gauntlet, right? But you see, when that big water elemental dies, he turns into little water elementals. Just like, you know, when you kill a father, their sons are going to try to avenge it. So these are the ones that heal, and they're spam casting this. So I don't know if it's because we constantly interrupted that they die pretty quick, but... Or maybe it's because I sped it up 2 times. Yeah, that might be right. So here I'm like, we should break all these eggs on the way, and then somebody notices that it's gauntlet. So as you saw that, like, when I did this on the Demon Hunter, I pulled the big guy and the pack that was surrounding it. But you can skip that pack, so you don't even have to do that. And if you do that, it's going to be very difficult to kill everything, because they all knock back, they all seem to heal or something, and they just have a lot of health in general. Maybe this is alpha stuff, I'm not sure. But this is definitely some type of, like... You know, you're meant to go through this as quick as possible and try to avoid the whelps, which do come out of the eggs on the side. But it doesn't even matter if you do, because they do fucking nothing. They're just trash to annoy you. And same with those little bloods there. Once again, they basically have less health than like a dying old woman. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable. So it's only really the big water elemental guys that you have to worry about, because they do that. You see that? It's like it drops a ball on it, and then the people are like, all right, we got to go, man. This is a gauntlet, and it's really not a gauntlet. But the reason it appears to be a gauntlet is because the eggs respawn. So if you're stood on top of eggs, they're going to spawn whelps, and then eventually it's going to come back, and the eggs are going to spawn again. And I look at these like self-gratifying smug pricks. They're like, yo, you were right, bro. This is a gauntlet. It's not actually a gauntlet. Gauntlet means that mobs keep coming no matter what you do. This is just, let's kill this mob. move forward, don't stand in the eggs. If you do, it's going to spawn ads that basically do nothing. But anyway, these bloods, like you see here, I mean, this is sped up 2 times, and you see how long it's taken us. So now we're going to fight Balerion, the Black Dread. He's going to be high above the ground, just like a dragon. I hear people saying you can't melee him, which is kind of true. You have to get really, really close. I don't know, maybe, like, because I'm a Tauren, I can melee him, but he's going to do a few things. The first thing he does there is that, oh, well, let's talk about that downdraft thing first. So that downdraft just pushes you into the whelps, right? Which, once again, in my opinion at least, do absolutely nothing. They are kind of a pain if you're trying to pick them all up, as you see. But the other thing he does there is that ground shatter. So it kind of makes you have to move. Like, he just makes the ceiling fall on the ground below him. So you're going to have to move a little bit. And then apparently he does some kind of breath, which I just didn't notice. I didn't even realize it until I read the dungeon journal. But yeah, it's really just the ground stuff you're gonna have to move from, and then try not to get pushed back into the whelps. Which, oh jeez, what the hell was that? Anyway, as you see here, I just avoid by standing really close to him. I mean, I'm not sure that's part of it, but like the further I am away from him, the farther it seems to push me. So I just stand right next to him, and he doesn't actually go anywhere. Oh yeah, so there was that breath. So like others said, you can dodge it. Like he picks where the target is going to be, and then in 3 seconds he breathes. And if you just move from it, you won't get breathed on. But now we are going to go to the final boss. There's very little trash on the way to the final boss, but if you wipe, you really don't want to go through that gauntlet again. Oh, gauntlet! Look at me, I'm calling it a gauntlet. You really don't want to go through that area again. So I'll show you guys the shortcut. The alternative way also means that you can skip the 3rd boss. That's why I'm going to jump back to the Demon Hunter point of view, because I skip that boss on the Demon Hunter after wiping in that gauntlet constantly, which I don't know if is intentional. I kind of have a feeling that once you beat that boss, the other path opens, because it does indeed seem to be like a shortcut. But anyway, these guys are kind of precarious here, because they're kind of like on the edge of this ledge. And actually, the one gets stuck evading when he knocks that. Yeah, he knocks the Demon Hunter back, and that one gets evaded. But yeah, it's kind of, they're just like pyromancers or something like that. Like in Dark Souls, they have a glove on and all that. So that's gonna be that. Let's talk about this boss. This boss is very, very broken right now. Well, one mechanic is broken. It's called Festering Rip. All right, it's like a disease that puts it on the target, and it makes you take a lot of fucking damage. Like people are saying, an extra 0 worth of damage. So I would agree with that. As you see here, it's just it's blasting me. But the other mechanic I have here, if people are in that black circle, I'm fine. But if people are not, if I'm the only one in that black circle, I get silenced, all right? And then on top of that, there's a fear mechanic as well. So yeah, I go down like the Titanic on this warrior. We just, like, yeah, this is just way too difficult. You really need like a crazy CD to be able to actually do this fight. But the Festering Rip is just broken as hell. But yeah, we're going to switch over to the Demon Hunter point of view, and we'll talk more about the fight. Still got plenty of time here. So yeah, we'll explain the fight and talk to you about like how Malfurion's in the fight, and he's going to come in and he's going to do like nature will rise against you, and then he's going to cast like Force Roar, and he's going to kill the boss. But yeah, so now we're going to move over. Wait, JK, wait, what? I didn't cut this out. So now we're going to run back. All right, now I'm going to show you guys the like alternate route. It skips the 3rd boss. It's just to the right of that gauntlet area, quote unquote, you know, where all the whelp eggs are. You can just take the right path instead. And then there's some mobs here. We accidentally pulled them and died to them before. We didn't realize. So yeah, there's just like a pack of 4 Satans that they kind of like shadow step behind you and do stab. Oh, what the hell? That hurts in real life, you know. So it's pretty nuts. And then there's these bats, which they get easily AoE down. That's their mechanic. You just stack them up and shockwave and put Ravager down. But yeah, so that's it's like, I believe the way it's gonna work is that like you can go this path after the 3rd boss is dead, because otherwise you'd be able to skip the boss. Now I don't know, maybe you can. I mean, I guess I wouldn't be surprised based on how similar this is to Everbloom, that like you literally can skip every single boss in that dungeon at one point. They had to hotfix that when the mythic dungeon challenge thing came out. But anyway, now we're going to do the boss for real. We're going to actually kill it back in the Demon Hunter point of view. So you're going to see the rip is still going to rip me. Festering Rip or whatever. It does a ton of damage. It's just broken on the alpha. Don't worry about that. But I am a Demon Hunter, so I have better survivability. I do end up dying anyway, though. And I'm going to show you guys the end of the fight. So once again, he pulls just like a normal boss, he's going to do the Festering Rip on the tank, which is going to do a lot of damage. I think it's dispellable as well, but it's not magic, so I don't know. It's like a disease or something. So regular healers aren't going to be able to dispel it. Now he's gonna drain people's life. He's just gonna pick a target and drain some of their health. No big deal. And there you see there. That's a great example of it right there. A very, very good example of these mechanics. So if somebody has not stood in that circle with the person who has the circle is silenced. Okay. If you are you can get feared. Like, so the person who doesn't have the circle can get feared. All right. So there you see, Festering Rip just kills me. But so say, you know, the druid healer's got the circle, okay, and then he's standing next to me like right now, and I get feared out of it. So there you go. It's pretty difficult. Like, it's a pain in the ass, really. You don't really want two people with the circle on top of each other. You don't need that. I think it does do some damage as well. So yeah, that's gonna be that. But I'm able to survive here somehow thanks to being a demon hunter and Festering Rip. You know, obviously just ripping me. But yeah, that's gonna be that. So now he goes into phase 2. Okay, phase 2 is like this hectic. He starts throwing these big red circles on the ground. I guess they're meteors. And now we have to, he's channeling. He's like, I'm going to kill Malfurion. There's nothing you can do about it. That's what he says. But then you're not going to let him do that, right? You're going to actually just go break the roots that are on Malfurion. But I don't know why Malfurion can do that himself. But it's kind of like, you know, you want to, you probably don't want to pop CDs here, but you want to get this phase over as quickly as possible, because as soon as Malfurion comes out, he's going to be all, nature will rise against you. And as you see, so he's going to spam Trank once he regains his full health here. Okay. And the rest of the mechanics still happen. All right. So it's basically the two phases together. Like this crazy hectic, like he's throwing meteorites all over the ground. They're going to hit the deck and do damage, which I'm going to get clipped by one here, it seems like. But yeah, the fear is still going to happen. The festering dick is going to happen. And then this like circle thing that, you know, you get silenced. You're going to have to stand next to somebody. So it's pretty hectic when all this is happening at once. But luckily, Malfurion, once he gets up to full health there, as you see, he's just going to be spamming Tranquility. He's going to heal everyone up. And, you know, the rest of the group is able to kill the boss because of that. But yeah, this is actually a pretty cool boss. It's a really long dungeon, though. Like, in general, I'm going to say that right now. Like I said, I got 20-some minutes worth of stuff here, but yeah, it's it's not good. Like, it's a really, 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 really long dungeon. We wiped a lot in it, though, so I'd imagine, you know, it is normal mode. I assume this is like a leveling dungeon. I'm not 100% sure if that knowledge is public. As of right now, you can just queue for it or whatever, but I think this is going to be one of the first dungeons you do. I really love the aesthetics of it. Like, I can't say that enough. And the new tanking model fits really well in here. Like, there's some room for like AoE pulls, some big pulls, a lot of paths and stuff. If you play it super casual, you're going to really take your time in here. But anyway, that's going to be it. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions about Demon Hunter Tank or anything like that, let me know. I'll probably really enjoy Demon Hunter Tank, so I'd definitely be happy to talk about it. But all right, see you guys in the next alpha video.